The end of the season is upon us, and in a couple of hours, one of these teams will punch their ticket to the Class 4A state championship. Welcome to Hastings High School. It's the Section 4 4A final, featuring the White Bear Lake Area Bears back in the section final after a one-year hiatus, and the Stillwater Ponies, the number 1 seed, but looking to make their first state tournament appearance in this century. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Peden, joined by LaToya, Turk, and a special guest, someone who has been involved in a section final, Mykel Parham. And Mykel, we'll start with you. You know what it's like to be the underdog in a section final. That's the situation White Bear Lake is in. But you played against this team, and even though they don't have any superstars compared to Stillwater, they've got a lot of great role players, and they can hang with some of the top teams. What will the Bears need to do to complete the upset bid?
They're going to need to play together really well, and that's what they did when they played us, which made it really difficult. So if they take it upon themselves to play together and for one another, I think this could be a game.
That being said, going up against Stillwater is a big challenge. As you know, you played alongside 2 of Stillwater's athletes, Sara Scalia and Liza Carlin, in the AAU circuit. What do those 2 bring that makes Stillwater so tough to defend? Oh,
Sarah's range is unbelievable, and Liza's, she's really hard to guard as well. She can go inside, and if she can't beat you there, she'll bring you out, drive you in, or take the jump shot. She's very diverse.
LaToya, you know a thing or two about Stillwater's diversity. We've seen Stillwater a few times, and what a jump they have made between last year and this year. Last year they were the 2 seed. You could see the foundation coming together, but the addition of Liza Carlin has made them one tough cookie.
Absolutely, without a doubt, they are the 1 seed by a long shot, and you'll see that tonight with the 3 players, with Scalia, Pratt, and Liza. It's really hard to stop them, and they have inside and outside game, and then with Willie leading the pack, they're almost unstoppable right now.
For White Bear Lake, it's not impossible, but what has to happen? How do they approach Stillwater here? Because they're going to have to come out flying, I think, in the opening minutes to stick around.
Yeah, well, we saw White Bear in their last game really up their game on their transition offense. So they were getting the ball out. They got the ball out really quick against Cretan. I don't know how well they're going to be able to do that against the Stillwater team with Alexis Pratt being one of the fastest girls in the state. But keeping up that quick transition offense and maybe trying to get Stillwater into some foul trouble.
The last time Stillwater qualified for the state championship or the state tournament was 1988. We'll see if they can start a new streak tonight. We'll be back for the starting lineups in a moment. If you'd like to sponsor a TSP television broadcast, Patreon is the place. Sponsorships start at just $1 a month. Visit patreon.com/TSP television and make a pledge for premier Twin Cities sports coverage. And here we are at Hastings High School. The starters are being introduced. Mykel, you took part in a section final last year at Apple Valley. Actually, LaToya and I were on hand to see you go up against your crosstown rival. What is the emotion like when you take the floor for the first time with a section title and state tournament berth on the line?
Yeah, emotions are high for sure. And it's so exciting to see everyone that came out to support you, and you're locked in and you're just ready to play. And it's not like any other feeling.
LaToya, you and I had the chance, of course, to call it, and hopefully next year your daughter will get to take part in one of those. Actually, she did last year for Roseville. Hopefully she'll do the same at Maranatha next year. But how do you keep the butterflies from getting to you?
Well, it's the pregame routine. It's just another game. You have to look at it as just another game and not let your nerves get to you. Part of it is your coaching staff, keeping the girls calm, keeping things normal for them.
Stillwater, the heavy favorites. The last meeting between these two, a 47-point win for the Ponies. Willie Taylor told me it was highly unusual. In fact, it never happened before since he took the Stillwater job, where the Ponies got running time on White Bear Lake because of how disciplined they play. But the Ponies, they've really stepped it up, and over the last several years, a big, big offensive powerhouse.
I absolutely love watching this team. Like you said, very disciplined. They know each other very well for the short amount of time that they've played together, and they really have some nice weapons out there, and adding Liza to the roster just increases their stock immensely.
Let's take a look at the starting 5 for White Bear Lake, same as last time. It's Courtney Crouch, number 5. Victoria Adebisi, number 11. Ella Janicki, number 21. Number 24, Brianna Corey, and Anna Sanders, number 40. And Stillwater, their usual 5. Alexis Pratt, who I like to call the annoyer. Sara Scalia, Delaney Wagner, Grace Cody, and playing in her first section final is Liza Carlin. She was part of this group a year ago at St. Paul Central. Same color, different name on the uniform, and what a world of difference she has made for the Ponies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, welcome to Stillwater, Liza.
Everyone talked about how thrilled she was to put on the Stillwater uniform. I know she's getting some D1 looks.
I've definitely noticed a change in her too. Knowing her before she played at Stillwater and after, her love for the game has just grown so much.
You know, I think sometimes we forget about, Liza's always been able to play. When she played in the in the St. Paul Conference, she was a leading scorer and rebounder in that program. It's the mental aspect of when you're in a great program, when you're with players that you enjoy playing with, and you have a great coaching staff, that can really change the dynamics of what your player does on the floor.
Brianna Corey for 3, that's off the mark. And there's Liza Carlin, that's a jump ball. Stillwater with the arrow, and mentality, as you noted, plays such a big role into this. But St. Paul Central, it was rough seas for Liza Carlin. Didn't have a lot of support, and she told me a big reason for her move to Stillwater was the better competition in conference. The Suburban East has Roseville, Forest Lake. Cretin-Derham Hall even gave this team a run, 101-93 in the second meeting of this series.
All which she dominated in.
Grace Cody missing the runner, and Adebisi with the rebound. Now, as we said, White Bear Lake, they can hang with the top teams. LaToya and I, we were on hand. They played well against Eastview for 27 minutes and ran into a shooting funk, which was okay for Mykel over there. That allowed Apple Valley to get the road win.
Yep, for sure.
And on that offensive set there, they were showing some great spacing, trying to space out that Stillwater pressure, that Stillwater defense. And like you said, White Bear, they have snatched a couple big wins here recently, so they're feeling it.
The key is going to be Sara Scalia, 0 for 10 from three-point range in the section semifinal, and that allowed Woodbury to stick around. In fact, they almost scored the upset. They came within 2 before Sara shut the door in the last minute. And what a sequence of plays from Sara.
When Sarah's locked in, she can do it, and I really think she'll pull it off tonight.
Mykel, are you relieved that you won't have to go against her next season? I don't think Creighton and Minnesota are scheduled to play each other.
A little bit, but it's always fun playing against teammates that you know, for sure.
It'll come tournament time. Oh, maybe that's where you'll see each other.
Yeah, hopefully.
Oh, nice cut, but Janicki had nowhere to go. Janicki suffered an ankle injury in the section semi. Look out. We know Sara Scalia can shoot from that far.
That was a message there.
And that's a traveling call.
But we saw White Bear do this against Creighton, get that ball out really quick on the transition offense, and we'll see if that works for them tonight.
One thing they can't afford, though, unforced errors like that moment. That's a play you've got to convert, especially against the number 2 team in Class 4A.
And I want to see how this 2-3...
Number 3, I should say.
How this 2-3 zone works against the shooters. Well, there you go.
Delaney Whitener knocks down the 3.
Okay.
Stillwater will be number 2 if they win this section final. Hopkins and Wayzata are playing each other as we speak. Whoever wins that one will get the 1. So Stillwater, I called them number 2 the last time. That's a bit of a misnomer, but after the seeding comes out, if they win, they will be number 2. Which would put them on path to face Hopkins or Wayzata in the final. So the Ponies get us started with a 3-0. And White Bear Lake, that's Courtney Crouch. She scored 17 in the semifinal win over White Bear Lake. It wasn't the prettiest of wins, but White Bear Lake hit a few key threes to give them some separation. Cretin-Derham Hall just never got in sync. It was one of the strangest performances I've seen. And Crystal Flint, she's got a work cut out for her next year. But if there's anyone who can get Cretin-Derham Hall back in contention, it's Crystal.
Absolutely.
Carlin attacks. Adebisi got there in time. Some officials might have called that, but they're letting them play in that sequence. Sanders to Crouch. Goes baseline and draws the foul on Cody.
Yeah, and we're seeing White Bear take the ball in a lot. They're driving in, they're making Stillwater move, and so I'm thinking that they're trying to get some folks in foul trouble out there, which will make it easier. They're spreading the floor, they're forcing the help side defense to come over. So Stillwater's just gonna have to buckle down and move their feet.
Courtney Crouch knocks down the front end. As we noted, 17 points in the section semifinal. This White Bear Lake team, as we noted, not a lot of explosive scores, but they did reach the state championship, or championship tournament. Same difference. 2 years ago, beating Eastridge in overtime, a team that had Kellen Knoll, Mariah Sexy, Noelle Tomes, and White Bear Lake, they have that pedigree. Jeremy Post has been there for a long time, and they always play teams well in big stage, big-time environments. And they take a 4-3 lead after Crouch knocked down both free throws. Liza Carlin sees an opening, goes for it, and scoops it in.
Okay. It's really interesting to see that both teams are playing a zone instead of man.
That is interesting because Stillwater has the athleticism, the speed to go man-to-man, and I'm thinking they want to make this a track meet like they did in that 47-point win. They want to tire out White Bear Lake. That'd be my guess.
White Bear is taking their time on offense, and sometimes that's good, sometimes it tires you out.
Nice cut.
They're forcing Stillwater to play defense.
Yeah.
That was Nevaeh Hughes scoring on the backdoor cut.
And this zone is so spaced out. Every time they go down the court, I go right into Liza. She has so much room down there.
She missed the layup, though. And White Bear Lake, this is what you want to see if you're Jeremy Post. You know you're the heavy underdog. This could help them out, but that three is way off the mark.
And they're letting them play. That's a lot of contact out there. And I'm surprised that I don't see that full court press trap that Stillwater usually puts on.
Give it time. Even the Minnesota Lynx will try to fool you with the zone defense for a possession or two before switching up to their man. Scalia on the side fade. Only has one three-pointer in this gym. In the section semifinal, she struggled, and in that semifinal, 0 for 10. In fact, she took it real hard. I've never seen someone in tears after a win.
Lots riding on her. Oh, there's a lot riding on her shoulders. You know, she's still young.
Three on the way from the Bears. Bullseye! Ella Janicki and the Bears. This is the start they were looking for. They're up 9-5 early in the first half. There's that 2-3 zone.
I think Stillwater's got to keep going into Liza, and so they can do a lot of high-low or in-out action to get White Bear to drop, sink in.
Yeah, and also go back to the basics. You know, this is a 2-3 zone. Know where those weak spots are on the zone when you're driving, and you know, be able to get to those weak spots and dump it off. And just play smart. I mean, they've played against a 2-3 zone a lot.
Liza Carlin wide open. Missed it. Amber Scalia's in there, and she throws it right into the hands of Janicki. Do you think nerves are coming into play here? Stillwater, as we noted, 31 years since their last section championship, and White Bear Lake knocking down three-pointers. That could help them in a big way. Anna Sanders scoring. Go ahead.
It could be, but I think once they look up at that scoreboard, they realize they need to turn it up.
Liza Carlin can knock down threes.
Money, yes.
You're working on that, Mykel, right? Next year
yeah.
at Creighton? Hey, you've got that free throw stroke down. Why not go out 4 more feet?
Just 4 more feet. It's all right.
White Bear Lake almost coughed it up. And Anna Sanders turns a nearly broken play into a triple.
That was some pure confidence because she had a player right underneath the basket wide open, and she shot it. It's pure confidence.
3 triples for White Bear Lake. Sara Scalia, the side fake. Swish!
That's her sweet spot, that right side.
And if Sara, seeing that first one go in, first one in this playoff round, in the entire playoffs, I should say, that could boost her confidence. Hesitation. 3 does not go in, but the rebound comes right back into Lauren Eckerly's hands. Lauren came up with a couple of big buckets in that win over Cretin-Durham Hall.
And if you're White Bear right now, you have to be feeling really good. They look very under control, confident.
Very calm on the offense as well.
And you can see even defensively, they're taking it to Stillwater.
Just as Nevaeh Hughes did. And I have to imagine for White Bear Lake, seeing a few baskets go in probably has them at ease. I remember doing Eastview Apple Valley last year. The halftime score was 14-11. Mykel, I have to imagine Apple Valley on your end and Eastview were both frustrated. No one could score.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it was a crazy game.
Traveling call on White Bear Lake. I know LaToya and I were flabbergasted. No wonder why they moved out of Concordia. But you told me it was one heck of an environment last night. Eastview edging Rosemount by 1. It's never easy with Eastview, it seems. They've got to work for it, but they have that history, and they found a way to get it done once again.
Exactly. They know how to win, and just the tradition of excellence there is unbeatable.
That's going to be an offensive foul on Alexis Pratt. White Bear Lake.
That was a whole pass later, but
Right.
you know, she has a better view than me, so maybe it was an offensive charge.
I did see the charge there. It came a little late, but looked like Anderson. She was set up outside the restricted zone.
Okay.
Now, Mykel, you being a post player, how did that impact the game? Well, hang on. Sara Scalia making an impact right now. They scoop and a score.
And White Bear brought in some reserves, so we should really be able to see Stillwater at least convert on a couple of baskets here with the bench on the floor.
But the Bears are still up by 4, 17-13. And here comes the press, deflected by the Ponies, so no backcourt violation. Crouch has a lane. That was Sara Scalia with the rejection. It will stay White Bear Lake ball, but Sara Scalia, she came to play.
Yes. And with Amber and Alexis up top being so active, that's a really hard press to beat.
You have to get that next pass. You know, a lot of times you have that front court working really hard, and once that ball is released, the next pass, defender's not there.
Sara Scalia turned on the ignition switch in the final minute of that section semifinal win over Woodbury. And White Bear Lake, Kayla Anderson scoring. The Bears, I don't think they paid any attention to being heavy underdogs here. They get the steal off Pratt. Courtney Crouch, full head of steam, scores the layup. The Bears are up by 8, 21-13. They lost by 47 in the last meeting between these two.
Nice
Good
rebound.
And Carlin will shoot 2 free throws. Liza Carlin, as we noted, getting some looks. Scored a 4.2 GPA in her first semester.
As well as averaging double-double.
That's right. Mykel, you can attest to this. Liza, no matter what she's doing, basketball,
She's
classroom
amazing.
work,
Swimming.
she's an overachiever. She wants to be the best at everything she does.
Yes, she does, and I admire her so much for it. She works so hard, and everything all of the results that she gets, she deserves.
Now, Mykel, we had that conversation before that score by Stillwater. How did the restricted zone maybe affect you and affect play this season?
To be honest, I didn't like it all that much.
10-second call on White Bear Lake. Why didn't you like it?
It seemed as if whenever I would get the ball in the post, a smaller girl would always be inside of it, and I would always take a peek down, but I would always get the charge called on me. And I made sure to go watch the film, and it was never a charge, but I got called on it a couple times.
Sara Scalia off balance makes it work. It's never a charge when it happens to you, right?
No, of course not.
Crouch, bounce pass out of BC, up and in, count it.
Good finish.
As we said, this White Bear Lake team, they can come out hot. We saw it against you guys, against Eastview. The struggle they had, at least until the end of the season, was putting it together for 36 minutes, but they did win 6 of their last 7, including a 28-point win over Roseville.
Wow.
That's a smackdown.
Right, that wasn't just some run-of-the-mill fluke when
And
you beat
that's a good
Roseville by
team.
28.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's feeding into this, because that win, Jeremy Post told me, we did not allow ourselves to get bullied, and Roseville is a team that likes to bully you. But if you go up big against them, they're not built to play from behind. And I think that win gave the Bears the confidence they were looking for.
Yeah, and this Bears team, they look like they have a lot of energy. And like you said, the Roseville team, they're not a fast team. And so if they were getting out like how they got out against Cretin, I can definitely see how they could run off on the score.
And they followed up that Roseville win with a 30-point win over Park of Cottage Grove. So you were seeing the cohesion with this team. Even though they don't have the superstars, the D1 commits like they used to, they have the pedigree, the discipline, fundamentally sound, and that's why when you play White Bear Lake, it's a grind.
Yeah, and they play so well together, like I said before. And it's just nice to see a team that does that.
Yeah, yeah.
Stillwater facing some adversity they haven't seen in a long time. They had a couple of close calls in conference play with Roseville, Forest Lake, and Cretin-Durham Hall, but smooth sailing otherwise. Liza Carlin getting the point back. She's up to 9, Scalia up to 7, so Stillwater getting production out of their big-name players. And White Bear Lake, that's the second time they've run into trouble against Stillwater's press.
Yeah, and you've seen, at the beginning of the game, Stillwater was only pressing maybe mid-court, and now they've pushed that press all the way up to the baseline, and we've gotten 2 turnovers. It's got to feel good for Scalia to be able to put those shots up and know that Liza's underneath the basket, averaging right at 10 rebounds a game.
A little more than that.
Yeah.
And it also helps that a couple of these athletes are track crossovers, Scalia and Pratt, one of the fastest in the state. Scalia, the runner, off the back iron. Carlin, another rebound. Do you think she did that on purpose?
Patting her stats a little bit.
Yeah,
She wants a
right
double-double
there.
right now. She's
I
up to
support
11.
it. I support it.
So are you saying you did that too?
I'm not saying I did.
No comment, right?
Right.
White Bear Lake ball. What really impressed me with you, Mykel, getting a chance to see you a couple of times, you weren't always the leading scorer. In fact, there were a lot of nights where you didn't even get 10, but you were a fantastic rebounder, and you did the dirty work from the free throw line. I know it's not the flashiest way to score, and I'm happy you're going to get to play D1 ball at Creighton, because I think they're going to get, I don't want to say an unheralded prospect, but you're just an example that you don't always have to score 30 points to make an impact.
Exactly. And
White Bear Lake, though, not ready to go away yet. Courtney Crouch making an impact from three-point range.
it's the little things that wins the game. I was at the Rose Mountain Eastview game last night, and Lauren Glass brought them back into that game. She was getting all the hustle plays, putting Eastview on the line, shooting free throws, and they were knocking down big shots.
Liza Carlin knocking down some big shots to keep Stillwater around, and it's good that she's got the hot hand right now, because the Ponies, as we said, unusual to be trailing in a game. We know they're a stronger second half team, but the longer White Bear Lake stays in front, the more confidence they'll get. Crouch to Janicki. She walked.
That's what it's all about, doing your part, right? Doing your part, buying into your team, supporting your team. That's excellent.
Now, in Mykel's case, it helped that you had Megan Bear and Shani Young and Kalina Myers, so you didn't have to score too much.
No, and I knew that when I would get the ball in the post, that I could be looking for them constantly out on the three-point line.
Share the wealth.
Yes.
Sister. They can't hook up, though. White Bear Lake with numbers. Crouch will back off, wait for help. And again, fundamentally sound. They made a few miscues in that semifinal that they had to clean up in order to have a shot with Stillwater, and so far they have. There have been a couple of moments, jump ball, White Bear Lake with the arrow, but outside of those, that 10-second call and that 5-second call, we're not seeing the sloppy passes or just that lack of cohesion that was so prevalent in that Cretin-Durham Hall semifinal.
No time for that today.
Well, you knew going up against Stillwater you had to clean that up to have a good chance.
There's no room for error in the playoff season at all.
It will stay Bears ball, 5:04 left.
As a forward post, don't you love it when the refs call jump ball over a foul?
Oh my gosh.
And a moving screen called on Stillwater. It's on Pratt. That's her second. And Willie Taylor is not going to take any chances. He's going to send in Tori Shute, number 23.
Seems like this is what White Bear wanted. They wanted to get fouls, and they are going at him.
Not a lot of fouls on the scoreboard, but with 2 on Pratt, this is an opportunity for them. Here comes out of BC. Drive is no good. Carlin with the rebound. Let's see what Scalia does. You see White Bear Lake doubling up on her.
Mismatch right there. Axe for it back, Liza.
Another 3 that goes off the mark. And Stillwater, they're better at withstanding this now, but even last year, if they knocked down their 3s, they were on fire. Nothing could stop them. If they couldn't hit from 3-point range, that was their weak spot.
And White Bear sticking with their plan, their game plan. Stillwater looks a little flat, a little late on the defensive assignment.
Yeah. Their zone is slightly confusing on or it's loose man, I can't quite tell.
Out of BC had a big game against Cretin as well. She really stepped out.
And White Bear Lake having a big game from 3-point range.
Big 3.
We have an official's timeout. Liza Carlin going to retie the shoe. And listen to the White Bear Lake fans.
Rightfully so.
Those girls are working hard out there. White Bear, I'll give it to them.
And their coach is doing a great job of subbing, giving them a break, giving them a breather, get them right back in. And everyone's coming in and doing their part. The defensive closeout looks good. They're moving on the pass.
A little bit of miscommunication. White Bear Lake ball. I think Scalia was looking to hook up with Carlin. Cody didn't recognize that, and the Ponies looking out of sorts right now.
Yeah, the Ponies have to move a little more on defense. Swing the zone. Get your shooters out shooting.
Nice movement by White Bear Lake. Sara Scalia, another block.
Sarah came to play today.
Oh, she said, get that out of here.
Yeah.
Her father, Peter, told me Sarah put a lot of pressure on herself in that semifinal, and I have to imagine she's focused and maybe a little aggressive here, knowing the pressure that's on Stillwater. A lot of expectations the season they had, only losing twice to Hopkins and Wayzata, the 2 teams ahead of them.
It's a good take.
Yeah.
It is a good take, and Liza Carlin will shoot 2. All right, Mykel, Liza played on your AAU team for a year, and it's not often that someone classes up, but what did you make of Liza this past summer, and how do you think that's fed into her performance this year?
Oh, she has just improved so much. She's gotten faster. She's been blocking more and more shots. I've always loved playing with her. On and off the court, we always get along. Our moms are pretty close, the same with our dads. And I just love playing with her. Her work ethic is amazing.
Carlin will settle for a split. Carlin has a lot of family watching Stillwater games from Florida, the UP of Michigan.
They're all great people. I've met them all.
I have a feeling they're going to get to see her play for a long time.
Like Liza Carlin's dad called me a good luck charm for Stillwater, although when you win a bunch of games in the regular season, I don't think they needed me for luck.
Oh, wow.
Way to work on the boards.
That was great.
A foul on Corey after Carlin collected that rebound. And you know what, for Stillwater, Sara Scalia struggling a little bit from the perimeter. So to see Liza Carlin coming up big early, how many times have you been through a game? Sometimes it's withstanding that first punch. You know the other team's going to come out hungry. You just got to ride through it.
Yeah, when you're the #1 seed, everyone's coming for you every single night.
And Stillwater finds a cutting Sara Scalia. And a chance for the Ponies to pick up some momentum here. They get it back to a 4-point deficit, 30-26. Sanders, pass deflected.
I think they're having a little communication issues on the rotation on that zone for Stillwater. They're a little slow on getting back. Once the ball leaves the front court, they kind of forget about the player underneath the basket, and they really have to rotate and get back.
Crouch to Janicki, out to Sanders. 2:07 to go. Crouch for three. Off the mark. And the rebound caroms over to Cody. Sara Scalia. Hands it off to Cody. Sara looking for that side fade. Now fires the runner and comes up short. Sanders looking for a screen, doesn't get it. White Bear Lake once again biding their time here. They show so much patience on these possessions.
And you can see a little confusion where they're saying, "Are we in man?"
And White Bear Lake throws it away.
Yeah.
Sara Scalia this time drains the runner.
Good players will get themselves to going, and their team will trust them, and you won't hear too many people complaining about her shots. Sometimes she'll shoot it from the volleyball line, but we know she can make it, so they let her keep shooting.
You know she can make it, and she's going to work hard on defense if she doesn't.
Willie Taylor with Shelly B. Some folks were asking, why don't you bench Sara after she went 0 for 10? And Willie Taylor said, are you kidding? And Sara showed why in that final minute in the win over Woodbury. We'll have a jump. Stillwater with the arrow. Mykel, you can attest to this. You saw this in action in AAU season. Sara has that takeover gene, much like Andrea Adams at Como Park a few years ago. And it was maybe one of Sara's worst games as far as shooting efficiency. But when Stillwater needed her to step up, she closed out. That's why she's going to Minnesota.
For sure. We played in a couple really close AAU games against some of the best in the country. And there was times when we needed a shot and we could count on Sara to be there.
I said this on Saturday, Sara Scalia has a little bit of Whalen in her.
And even if Sara's shot is a little off, she's not going to stop shooting. So if you drop that last play and you need that shot, she's going to go in as confident as she did when she took the first shot.
How many times have we said to get out of a shooting funk, keep shooting?
Keep shooting.
You don't have to tell Sara Scalia that. Pratt fires, can't get the bank. White Bear Lake, Well, Stillwater had 2 to give, so maybe not a bad foul there. But the Bears, barring something strange, are going to have the lead heading into halftime. That foul was on shoot, gesture first.
Willie's playing smart, bringing Pratt in on offense, taking her out on defense.
Avoid risking that third foul. White Bear Lake will try to get something going. Crouch in position. She won't get it off in time. Nice job by Stillwater to deny her an opening, but it's the Bears over the Ponies, 30-28. White Bear Lake knocked down a bunch of threes, and I'm not sure Stillwater was anticipating this kind of score going into the intermission.
I wasn't.
Neither was I, but I'm glad both teams are out here doing their thing.
Indeed. Now, we know Stillwater is a better second half team. What would you expect following the halftime speech?
I think they're going to play a little smarter and put a little more pressure on White Bear. But, even just watching the teams walk into the locker room, White Bear is full of energy. They are going in on a high right now, and Crouch is really playing well. But for Stillwater, coming out of that locker room, they have to come out and play hard for the next full half.
Yeah, and I think they will. As you said, they're a good second-half team. So for Stillwater to get started, I think they got to start running the floor more and doing the things that they're good at.
Yep.
And so once you start playing Stillwater basketball, they'll get going.
Get back to your basics,
Right.
White Bear's in a zone, swing the zone.
Exactly.
We'll take a break and bring you the second half in a minute. This is the Section 4 4A final. White Bear Lake leading Stillwater by 2.
If you'd like to sponsor a TSP television broadcast, Patreon is the place. Sponsorships start at just $1 a month. Visit patreon.com/TSP television and make a pledge for premier Twin Cities sports coverage.
Some legitimate contenders with Cretin-Durham Hall, Stillwater, and Woodbury. This year it's been a one-team bandwagon points, but White Bear Lake has 23 because they're spreading it around, and that lead grows to 8. Nice cut by White Bear Lake out of BC, the beneficiary. This is a team, again, they split the season series. Cretin won the second meeting by 20. White Bear Lake looking to run away with this. Courtney Crouch knocks down the 3. It's mixed up. Sara Scalia, deep 3. We know she can shoot from just about anywhere on the floor. Pratt was there for the offensive rebound. Speedster on the track team. Sara Scalia also took part in track and lays it in. Sara Scalia, a little more speed in their game. West, Amber Scalia, she tried to sell it and it cost her. Big possession for the Royals. 3-ball, corner pocket. One big secret, they've just been going after it. And Stillwater just having a hard time getting shots to fall. A couple of unforced errors. Dodge didn't recognize where she was on the floor in that last possession. West, the bounce pass. Dodge this time stays in bounds and knocks down the baseline jumper. Dodge up to 8. Here we go. We've had plenty of nail biters today. Scalia drives and gets the roll. 15 for Sara Scalia. Intercepted. Sara Scalia looking for the knockout. Got it. Sara Scalia, sensational. Mike Peden, LaToya, Turk, and Apple Valley's own Mykel Parham here. Mykel, I see there's a few friendly faces. Your coach, Brian Doty, former Eastview coach, Melissa Gieberts. Everyone's coming out to watch this game.
Yeah, and it's so fun having like people that you know come out to support you, and we all have such good memories playing for Melissa and Dan as well. So it's fun.
So the second half about to start. White Bear Lake knocking down some three-pointers. They lead Stillwater 30-28. Courtney Crouch with 9. Anna Sanders with 6. Those are your notables. And for Stillwater, Liza Carlin, 14 points. Sara Scalia with 11. Sara still looking for that three-point shot. Just one three-pointer since entering this building. She was 7 of 7 in the quarterfinal round against North St. Paul.
Stillwater's definitely good enough to start.
And as we said before, Stillwater a stronger second half team. They're going to need it if they want to complete this dream season and reach state.
That's hard. I mean, the number 24, I don't know her name, but she's got 2 major rebounds underneath the basket.
That's Brianna Corey.
Brianna Corey.
And White Bear Lake again exhibiting their patience. 3 no good. Carlin gets the rebound and it goes off out of BC. All right, for Stillwater. They went down by 8 for a while, got it to within 2. What do they need to do more of here to close out in the second half?
I think they need to limit White Bear Lake's second chances or third chances. Liza cannot be the only one crashing the boards. I know I've definitely been there certain games when it just seems like you're the only one that's going for the rebound. And so if they are able to limit them there, they can get started on their offense, on the offensive end much quicker.
We've got some blood on Delaney Wagner, so we'll have a timeout to get her subbed out. safety precaution. Neither side took a timeout, so both teams saving them. That could lead to some interesting strategy here. But as we've said, Stillwater, they come out flying in the second half, and Grace Cody draws the foul. Grace Cody, one of Stillwater's role players, but she is a three-point threat. And she came up big in some games this season. Against Eden Prairie, back in mid-February, she knocked down a few to help Stillwater pull away.
Good for her.
And this Stillwater team, they are battle-tested. They played 4 of the 5 Lake Conference teams, went 2-2, losing to Hopkins and Wayzata. The Wayzata game went to overtime and defeated Eden Prairie and Edina. And how about their conference season? Undefeated, winning their first conference title in years.
They have a pretty tough conference.
I don't know, Mykel might have something to say about that.
South Suburban Conference is very tough. When you look at who's going to state, there's always like...
Eastview punched their ticket. Farmington having one heck of a season.
Yes. Shakopee as well.
And Farmington, we'll see if they can... They'll play tomorrow with Lakeville North. We'll see if they can end the supremacy of the Panthers. But how about Farmington, that young core?
It also feels good to say that we went 1-1 with them, so.
And Rosemount too, a lot of young guns. They pushed Eastview to the limit. And they sent you home. Hopkins up 37-25 at the half. Everyone's wondering, will this be the year Hopkins wins a state championship? If Stillwater gets through, they have something to say about that. I think they would like another shot after losing big in the first meeting. But the Suburban East, you've got Stillwater, Roseville, Forest Lake. They've been good. Cretin-Durham Hall the last few years. The South Suburban, Eastview. You guys weren't too bad.
Not too bad at all.
you were all right. Alexis Pratt taking the first. Well, Mykel, since we're giving you endless flattery here, I know you said you're undecided on a major, but what do you see yourself in a post-playing career?
I don't know. I've been I switch it all the time, but I've been going around telling people maybe someday I'll be the governor of Minnesota.
We'll take it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking you could be the next Jessica January, be the next broadcaster.
It's definitely fun. So
actually, what would be better, you and Jessica January calling the game together?
Oh my goodness, that'd be like a dream.
Man, I could see the two of you smack talking to Paul and Creighton now. So Pratt split at the line, White Bear Lake with a turnover, and here's a chance for the Ponies to put a stamp here. Sara Scalia, we know she's got range, but she has yet to find it in this gym. And at Stillwater, we've seen her Mounds View, Forest Lake. She can go lights out, but here at Hastings, for whatever reason, this has not been a friendly gym for her. And I don't know if it's the lighting, just neutral territory. What do you think is at play here?
It could be a number of things, but you got to make the adjustment. And if your shot's not falling, she does have other things in her bag, so maybe go to those things until you get yourself going.
3 on the way. No good from Lauren Eckerly. Offensive rebound for the Bears.
And those are those second chance shots there.
Yep.
And Courtney Crouch knocks down the 16-footer. White Bear Lake calls timeout 32-31. And Mykel, you had to get accustomed to it. Playing in neutral territory last year was Concordia St. Paul. This year, I believe it was High Seed. So you had to play Eastview in that weekend, or did you get to play at home?
We played at home because we were the 2 seed.
2 seed. But what is it like going into a neutral atmosphere, a neutral gym where you don't have a whole lot of time to practice? You only get 20 minutes to warm up, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I really liked playing at Concordia. It gives you the opportunity to come in and say, this is my territory. I'm going to play my game here. Versus coming into, let's say, Eastview, their gym. They know that gym so well, and the lights give them energy. I don't know, but when we played them, they had start out the game 3 3-pointers in a row, and it's just like the energy they have in that gym is crazy. Same for us at home games.
Well, when you make state for now 8 years in a row, it creates a feedback loop, and Eastview, they're always tough. Sara Scalia not giving up on the 3, gets one to fall. Like we said, you will never have to tell Sara Scalia to keep shooting.
I wouldn't.
Well, she won't. She'll keep firing away. She knows that one's got to go in. And that's a big three-pointer for the Ponies. Courtney Crouch responds on the other end. What a game from Courtney Crouch, the senior.
Yeah, and Crouch is really well on that baseline, putting the ball on the floor, getting to the basket. It's really under control.
Pratt was looking for Wagner down low and throws it away. 34 all, 15:04.
And here's that full court press. Let's see how Stillwater executes it.
I know no one was expecting a result like this after Stillwater won the last meeting by 47 points. But they get the steal. Scalia, a three in transition, pure. And Sara Scalia, the Sarasaurus Rex, could be breaking loose in San Diego again. Look out if you're Stillwater, or White Bear Lake, I should say, but they're not done yet. Adebisi cuts away inside. Scalia draws the foul.
If she wouldn't have got held there, she would have had a clear-cut line to the basket because Adebisi was still turned around running transition.
And so that may have been a smart foul on White Bear Lake to deny an open lane. 37-36, but now Stillwater's hitting their threes. That could be big trouble for White Bear Lake.
Oh, yeah.
Pratt doesn't have any room. She'll back out. Finds Wagner, pulls up, swish.
Way to be patient on that play. Keep your dribble.
Now that Stillwater's being patient, they can really take their time and get their offense going. It's really working out for them.
As we said, they are great at making adjustments in the second half. Jump ball, Stillwater with the arrow, and you have to remember who's leading them. Willie Taylor, he won 2 state championships at St. Paul Central, and he has spent the last few years helping build this Stillwater program. You know, when Sara Scalia first came in with Willie Taylor, they weren't winning a whole lot. Her sophomore season, Stillwater was eliminated in the quarterfinal round. Last year, they lost a close one to Woodbury. Willie Taylor told me he watched that game 10 times.
I can believe it.
He probably watched it 11. And now he has a chance to bring Stillwater to state.
I bet you if he asked his wife, she would say he watched it 40 times.
Liza Carlin up and in.
And now you can see the Stillwater crowd getting into it. That gives your team energy.
Willie Taylor, remember, he has not been to a state tournament since 2013. Before he left the St. Paul Central job, came back, and nothing but respect for Willie Taylor. Liza Carlin missing the three-point play. She's missed a couple of those. You may know the story. I brought up her free throw numbers, and she won't let me forget it.
Oh, she was talking to me about it before the game.
She told everybody. Did she tell you about the stare down she gave me at the Tartan game?
She mentioned it.
It's up there. You want to watch it. It's on the archives. We used it in a story I did on Liza Carlin. Oh, that'll be an infamy. Courtney Crouch looking to knock down the three. She can't. And that is a foul on White Bear Lake. They're going to call it on Eckerly. I thought she had position inside, but she must have pushed Alexis Pratt.
Yeah, it was a little bump there. Yeah. I'm glad you called it a push and not an over in the back.
Well, Eckerly had position, so you really can't go over and back on her.
Well, there's no such thing as an over the back foul anymore. They're called push fouls.
Or in Mykel's case, are you kidding me?
Yep.
It's one of those are you kidding me fouls.
And when you're as small as Alexa, you have to have good position to get that push foul called.
I remember I've chatted with her mother, Michelle, many times, and I saw Alexis Pratt for the first time at North St. Paul, and she impressed me. She got my attention, and her mother goes, because of how tiny she is?
She's strong.
Because she's an annoyer. You know, she went in there, got the steal off a sloppy pass from White Bear Lake, but she's an annoyer. And here's Sara Scalia. Drives, no good. And the rebound to Hughes. But White Bear Lake trailing by 5.
She's had some pretty key rebounds for White Bear.
Hughes, she's had quite a game.
Ooh.
Look out.
Way out.
Ella Janicki, I don't know if she was trying to mimic Scalia, but I'm not sure if I would take that shot, and we're going to have an offensive foul. I believe it on Carlin. Yes. Just her first, but that's unfortunate. Wagner was ready to step into that three. And that could be a momentum swing. .12-11 to go in the second half.
You know, or as I would say on the bench, just get it back. Just get the ball back.
Here comes the press. White Bear Lake has nowhere to go. This was a staple at St. Paul Central when Willie Taylor was coaching the Minutemen. It was key to their back-to-back state championships in 07 and 08. Mykel was maybe half her size back then. But Angel Robinson, Kiara Buford, who won a state title as a coach last year at Cooper, Kiara Taylor, Sara Scalia, three-ball, corner pocket.
Same spot. Same spot as they got that offensive charge call.
Yep.
So just get the ball back, right?
And Stillwater dialing up the pressure.
I think both teams feed off of their offense more. That's what gets them started instead of get it back on defense and then your offense will flow. It's more offense and then defense will follow because you're already hyped.
Right, Stillwater, they like to push. And against Woodbury, Scalia had that layup. That's a foul on Amber. Then she followed up with a steal, and she was committed to attacking. And when you look at Stillwater's scoring and how much that has increased since Willie Taylor took over, that's an astute assessment, Mykel. Their offense feeds into their defense. Stillwater, much like Hopkins and even Wyzetta this year, they want to pile on the points.
And they have 3 players averaging double digits.
The big three, Scalia, Pratt, and Carlin. And next year there'll be another Scalia. Oh, that was close to a 5-second call on Corey. They will not give Corey continuation, and that's unfortunate because Corey had scored or would have scored.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Well,
that would be nice.
If you're White Bear Lake, it would be. And here comes Allison Benning, the pitching ace for Stillwater softball, led the Ponies to a miracle run at the state championship. Off the inbound, White Bear Lake rattles in a three. It's Anna Sanders, her third triple, and a timeout. 5-point game. Stillwater knocking down their threes, but White Bear Lake not going away.
This is one of my favorite parts of the game is watching the refs do the signaling to the table for the timeouts. Fun fact about LaToya.
All right, Mykel, any more fun facts that you want to share about Sarah and Eliza Carlin?
Off the court, they're so goofy. I can't.
They are.
Yeah. Just all the fun nights that we've had in hotel rooms from AAU tournaments is.
I said Sara Scalia's got a little Whalen in her. You know, Whalen has Gentry. Sarah had the Scal squad on a long trip to Moorhead, but Stillwater won in a runaway.
Yep. Sarah
was showcasing her sarcastic, silly side. In interviews, she's a little shy, much like Whalen was at her age, but I imagine that will improve over time. I imagine she'll get some etiquette training in Minnesota, but Sarah's a bit of a rascal, much like Whalen is.
Yep.
I can't wait till next year, Gentry and the Scal squad together.
Oh, that'll be a dynamic duo.
That might be their game plan against you. They might throw that and just make you incapacitated with laughter. I know LaToya and I would be rolling on the floor.
We'll get out of there before you get a 3-second call. Good.
That's the worst call.
I know. And it's usually right when you have your player pinned.
Exactly.
Pratt going back door to Benning. Yes.
And Pratt's pretty solid. You take a hit from her, you're going to need an Advil.
And Pratt, she's one tough cookie. Doesn't matter how much contact she takes. In fact, I think she thrives on it. She doesn't mind getting bumped around a little bit. Pratt, the first member of her class to reach 1,000 points, doing so last year. And I imagine she'll pick up a few more. And this Stillwater team, wait until next year. Sarah will graduate and wear the maroon and gold, but you've got Amber and Gianna Carr will be eligible to play.
Great help side defense there from Stillwater. Yeah, Pratt is a dynamic player. I mean, it's just been awesome to be able to watch her these past few years. Great jump trap there.
Corey off the screen, didn't have room. Sanders, deep three. I think White Bear Lake, give credit to Stillwater's formation, not giving them an inside lane, but I think White Bear Lake is forcing the issue a little bit. We know Sarah can knock them down from deep, but across the Metro, I haven't seen anyone else display that kind of range consistently.
Right. And you're right, the White Bear couldn't get into their offensive set. That defense was really solid from Stillwater there, so it was a forced shot.
There's the entry pass. White Bear Lake in trouble. They find Crouch. Used up the dribble, needs help. And throws it away. Luca got the steal. It's Scalia. That could have been a proverbial dagger. I know there's a lot of time left, but when you look at the flow of this game, White Bear Lake looking a little out of sorts here. Now they get open. Back door will net a couple of free throws for Kayla Anderson. She didn't play much in the semifinal win over Cretin-Durham Hall.
Kayla took one for the team there.
Just a second on Wagner. Both teams with one foul left to give.
I think in order for White Bear to get started again, they got to get the ball in transition and catch Stillwater off guard.
And I think that's been their MO for their big wins that they've come up with during the regular season and the playoff game with Cretin.
Anderson missing both free throws. Stillwater last won a section championship in 1988.
Wow. That's a while ago.
That is a while ago as Pratt steps into the elbow, Jane goes off the iron, gets her own miss, finds Carlin open for three. That's no good. And Anderson with the rebound. To give you an idea of how long ago that was, the top grossing film in 1988, Rain Man.
You and your facts, Mike.
There was no WNBA. The Los Angeles Lakers won the NBA Finals over the Detroit Pistons.
Do you hear these facts?
I don't know how you remember all that.
The Dodgers won the World Series that year. Mykel wasn't even thought yet. I think your parents were probably
No, not even close.
Your parents are probably about your age, right? Anderson at the line, missing the front end. And locally, back then, it was a two-class era. In fact, the three-point line, I don't think, was put in play yet at the high school level.
So if you ever need to phone a friend for an answer, you know who to call, right?
I know exactly who to call.
I would use all three of my calls calling Mike.
The refs are definitely calling it a lot tighter the second half.
And as a result, both teams out of fouls to give. Free throws could be crucial here with 8:30 and a 6-point game.
That usually happens when when there's a timeout call and the refs huddle. When they come out of that ref huddle, the game gets called tighter.
And who could that favor here if they are calling it more tightly?
Oh.
If White Bear starts knocking down their free throws.
Pratt knocked down the 15-footer. 8-point lead for the Ponies. It doesn't look like we'll have a repeat of that 47-point runaway. But much like Woodbury, give props to White Bear Lake. They're not playing scared, and you can't. How many other teams would get a little nervous going up against a Stillwater or a Hopkins or a Whiteside? This Stillwater team, they schedule tough when you look at the Lake Conference competition. And Mykel, I have to imagine you were fired up to play Eastview and Farmington. You knew you were going to get a good battle.
Yeah, you always know you're going to get a good battle when you play in any South Suburban Conference game.
So a foul was called on Amber Scalia, her third. 1-1 here. Big free throws for the Bears. And Ella Janicki gets the first one to drop. Ella Janicki made a few key plays in that semifinal win. Only scored 4 points in the last meeting with Stillwater. And to give you an idea of how much has changed between meeting 2 and meeting 3, Courtney Crouch held to 4 points. She has 13 here. Pratt sees a lane and makes the most of it.
She's just too quick.
Yeah, very quick first step. Very quick first step. Quick first step, and she's able to finish. And, you know, she's added a jump shot to her game, too. So she's really a threat out there. She can get going.
Yeah. You'd be playing defense on her, you blink, and she's gone.
Yeah. And it takes a little bit of the pressure off of Scalia and Liza.
Well, Pratt came in last year, and that did wonders for Sara Scalia. That opened things up for her and helped her become one of the top scorers in the state. That will stay White Bear Lake ball. Scalia's scoring average dropped a little bit, but she did become the first player to reach 100 three-pointers, which doesn't surprise anybody. I'm not sure how much space Waylon will give her next year at the Gophers, but I have to imagine Waylon's watched a lot of tape, or will, in the offseason, and I imagine she will make use of Sara Scalia's range, because I don't think too many college players can go that deep. But we're seeing more of it. The pace and space, emblematic of the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah.
And for those who have the range, or those who feel confident, it's trickling down. They see the benefits as Courtney Crouch goes to the line. That's why I think, Mykel, you've got to get a three-point shot going, because if you can get that, you're going to be lights out of Creighton. You're going to lead the Big East in scoring, rebounds, Inca WNBA contract.
Speak it into existence. Speak it into existence.
Crouch at the line.
I can tell you from experience, you'll definitely develop a long-range shot.
I've definitely been working on it. It's just got to work on taking it in an actual game setting.
Yeah, you will.
I think we're going to hear big things from you, Mykel. That's why I made the effort to cover you guys back in January, coming over from Cretan Edina. .6:25 to go. Scalia takes the shovel pass from Carlin.
Stillwater's got to take care of the ball. That middle's wide open. If someone just cut down the middle, it looks like they're going to try to run a little time off the clock, hold on to their lead, but it's not much.
It's in that danger zone, you're right. I don't know if you want to get too conservative here, but they will draw the foul and get free throws. And I don't know what the numbers are, but Mykel, having gone up against South Suburban competition in section play frequently, how tough is that third meeting? You know, these two, Stillwater won the first two meetings in blowout fashion. This third meeting, they're having to grind for it. What makes that third meeting the trickiest?
Everybody knows everybody's little thing. I know from last year when we played ECU, a lot of people were telling us, oh, like, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Like, you guys can do this. It just really takes good coaches to nitpick and find everybody's like weaknesses, and it's really easy to exploit them if you watch enough film.
Yeah, especially in this day and age of film. But rewind, did you say you don't know the numbers, Mike?
Not officially, because everyone says it's hard to beat a team 3 times. I believe it's around 33% the teams that aren't able, or that aren't able to beat a team 3 times. So the odds are in your favor, but you're right. That third meeting, even if you do win it, it's often the hardest because it's a matter of execution. There are no secrets to uncover. By that point, you know what the opponent's going to bring. You know what you've got.
Uh-oh, game time.
I thought Sara Scalia was going to launch it, but instead she's going to work a little clock. Now she's open. Finds Carlin down low.
Oh,
and
that was a lot of body.
they do
Okay,
call
I
the
didn't hear
foul.
the whistle.
I didn't either, but Liza Carlin did. Liza Carlin, as you noted earlier, a swimming crossover. You don't see that often. You see basketball and track, volleyball, basketball, but swimming and basketball. And Liza Carlin told me she idolizes Elena Deladon and Missy Franklin. Deladon and
Nice.
Franklin, both Olympic gold medalists.
You know, swimming is great for an athlete's lungs. You really, and your strength. Her brother Ty is also a great swimmer. He's always in the stands cheering for her.
And there's another Carlin sister coming up,
Yeah.
Lexi Carlin. But an opening here for the Bears. Carlin bricked at the line. And I know free throws haven't come to form compared to last year. White Bear Lake, they're able to penetrate. Sanders missing the layup. And White Bear Lake will call the timeout.
Those are those second chances they.
All right, Mykel. We mentioned Liza Carlin's idols. Sara Scalia looked up to Maya Moore, and I imagine looked up to Waylon as well. Who are your idols that you tried to emulate?
Well,
You got to watch the Jones Brothers.
yeah, that was. I would for sure say Rebecca Brunson.
Brunson. Dad Brunson, the machine.
Yes, and then someone else, Asia Wilson.
Asia
yeah,
Wilson,
that's
rookie of the
my
year.
favorite.
I love watching her play, and
Yeah.
I went to my first Lynx game this year, and it was against.
Las Vegas.
Yep. And just seeing her run up and down the floor, and I was just like, wow, like
Yeah.
She's a darling.
amazing. I saw follow her on Instagram, follow her on Twitter.
I interviewed her in her freshman season at South Carolina long before she became a household name, and I remember she told me they had to get the angry Asia out of her because she wanted everyone to be happy, wanted to share the ball, and look what she's become. Won a championship at South Carolina, rookie of the year, and Las Vegas getting the first pick in the draft. I imagine she has a bright future ahead of her. And
Yeah.
what a wonderful story. We talk about Sara Scalia building up the Stillwater program. Asia Wilson did the same at South Carolina.
And your personality is a lot like Asia's. Like, you're very bubbly, you smile a lot, great energy.
Oh, you should have seen Asia freak out when she met her model or her idol, Blake Griffin.
Like, yeah, I saw the videos.
Big possession here for the Bears, and they score the layup. Ella Janicki makes it a 5-point game. All right, it's crunch time for the Ponies.
And you really have to be careful when Janicki has that ball. She does a great job with that pump fake and getting to the basket. She's not afraid to put the ball on the floor and take a little contact.
Pratt to Carlin. Pass was bobbled, and Willie Taylor will call the timeout. Not over yet. Remember, Woodbury got within 2 with a minute and a half to go. And White Bear Lake, we know they can hit the 3. They can score down low. So if you're Stillwater, how do you close this out?
I think Stillwater's a team that thrives under pressure, and White Bears got to just knock down big shots.
And White Bear's chasing right now, so that energy is high. Stillwater, they need to take care of the ball and box out on defense so that they can prevent those second and third chance shots. Get back on defense so that they don't get easy transition. White Bear doesn't get easy transition buckets. And then they need to score when they have the ball. We had a couple times where they haven't been able to convert offensively.
You need smart possession. Scalia off the inbound, getting a friendly bounce. She's up to 22. Big bucket for the Ponies. But a foul on Wagner, and that means free throws for the Bears. And Courtney Crouch, who's having one heck of a section playoff run here, no matter how it goes for White Bear Lake. And I mentioned this in the semifinal. Last year, they were knocked out in the quarterfinals. First time that ever happened in school history. So to rebound, to get back to this point, they have a lot of seniors they'll lose, including Adebisi and Crouch, but for the younger players and what they have coming up, this will be a huge stepping stone for them to perhaps bring their name back in the conversation. Crouch splitting at the line. But a 6-point game, again, far from over. Scalia. What a move! Oh no! I thought that was going in. Crouch attacks. She misses the layup. Oh, 2 big misses. Scalia lost her balance and coughs it up. Oh my goodness. Can you feel the nerves ratcheting up here?
Yeah, just sit down and play defense, Stillwater.
But time, a factor here for White Bear Lake. Scramble for the ball.
No foul.
Ponies ball.
Looked like Amber got bumped clean into the scores table. Yeah, she took a hard hit there, you see her. Adjusting her knee pads. Got hit so hard, knocked the poor baby's knee pads off.
It's always the worst when you get knocked down in front of the ref and they don't help you up.
Who will step up in the clutch? Sara Scalia. She had 18 in the semifinal win over Woodbury. 22 here. And Carlin only 2 points this half, but there's Cody with a deep 3. You can take it to the bank. Cody making a deposit and a big 3 for the Ponies. Will that be the dagger? We shall see.
So our White Bears got to score pretty quick. Well,
Alexis Pratt has other ideas. Like we said, she's the annoyer.
oh,
Last touch by the Ponies. And Willie Taylor getting an explanation.
well, he was calling a timeout. He's telling the ref I was calling a timeout, and she's explaining I was watching the game.
Officials, you either love them or hate them. There's no middle ground.
And sometimes at the beginning of the game you love them, and by the end of the game you don't.
A few of my buddies, actually, I've met through officiating because they're always asking for game tape. And how about Alexis Pratt? A couple of key steals here.
There we
Scalia,
go.
baseline, swish.
That's all day for her.
Yeah.
Sara Scalia, 24 points, and that may be the separating factor Stillwater needed. The Stillwater fans feeling it now. None of the student section was born. In fact, their parents, as we know, are probably their age the last time Stillwater got to state. Their athletic director, Ricky Mykel, was just making his way up to the coaching ranks.
Wow.
Fun story, he actually fired himself as a coach to take the AD job.
Oh my
He
God.
said the best decision he ever made. Ricky doesn't take himself seriously, by the way. Crouch going for the scoop shot. Carlin says, I don't think so.
Not today.
Right.
And Liza, I've said this many times, the embodiment of the stretch 4. She plays the post really well on defense. She's got the 3-point shot. The free throws, they'll work on that. I think she'll be better next year, but
I think they're there. She just got to get a little bit more.
White Bear Lake turns it over. That pressure defense from Stillwater, I think, has been impacting getting to White Bear Lake here. As we said, this is a stronger second half team, and it's showing here.
For sure.
All right, Mykel, be honest here. How excited are you? I have to imagine this is a big moment for you. You rode along with Scalia and Carlin. They were your ride-or-die buddies in the summer, and I know you would love to hoist a section championship, but see some of your teammates, Macy Giebert, Scalia and Carlin, 66 seconds away.
Yeah.
As hard as it is perhaps to lose a section game like last year, how fun or how gratifying is it to see some of your best friends get that taste of success?
Honestly, this is one of the best feelings. Probably right behind winning one, but I love this. I'm so excited for them. I can just, knowing that they're excited for this, and I'm already getting kind of excited and nervous for them.
A lot of people, I think, have been pulling for the Ponies. Sara Scalia, when she committed to the Gophers, she became a household name. Everyone wanted to get a taste of Sara. She got a bunch of interviews. I remember that
She
first
did.
week.
I remember that
Channel
too.
5, Channel 9, we did an interview with her. So she's been getting a lot of attention all season long.
Yep.
When Liza Carlin's transfer was official, everyone had that sense of anticipation about Stillwater. They knew this Ponies team could be something special.
We talked about it all summer long. We teased Sarah. We're like, ooh, you know, big time commit, and then we're like, Liza, oh, big transfer coming in.
Well, you went to Creighton, so I hope someone gave you some love about that.
Oh, of course.
You're going to the Big East. A lot of Minnesota talent down there.
Yeah.
MC McGrory, Marissa Janning, a former Miss Basketball winner. So
yeah,
you're not a fluke either. You're not some accident.
You hold your own. You hold your own.
Yeah.
We're expecting big things from you.
But this was a season with a long history in the making.
So we just don't want to foul at this point, Stillwater.
Just want to close out. Well, they've got the win wrapped up here, up by 13 with less than a minute. And White Bear Lake, give them props. They came in with a game plan and executed it to near perfection in the first half, but Stillwater so good at making adjustments. That's what makes them so hard to beat.
Wow.
Pratt playing a little quarterback, she'll get fouled.
And you could see, like...
Is it too late to give Alexis Pratt a shot for the football team?
Scalia went down. She picked her up and then went and stole the ball. Intercepted that pass.
They're ride-or-die teammates.
Mm-hmm. It's
Much
good
like
to see.
North Tartan, I can only imagine the talent on that AAU team. Callie Tyson, yourself, Macy Giebert, Franny Hottinger, Sara Scalia, Liza Carlin. That's a scary good team.
Yeah.
A bunch of all-stars in that field. Hottinger, Scalia, Tyson. As Pratt making some free throws here.
You know, you talk about the popularity of the Stillwater program. I have coworkers who know very little about basketball, but they know the names of the girls on the Stillwater girls basketball team.
Great rebound. Yeah.
And they're hustling to the very end. 33 seconds away from ending a 31-year drought of futility. Ever since this team was put together, we expected big things from them. And in the second half, they delivered. Stillwater running out the clock.
Great job, ladies.
The celebration begins. For the first time this century, the Stillwater Ponies are going to the state tournament, and it comes with the sweet taste of redemption after losing the section semifinal. It's over. Stillwater going to state.
That's amazing. I love it.
A tough ending for White Bear Lake, but one heck of a performance coming in as the underdog. No one expected them to be this close, but Stillwater, again, emblematic of their evolution. Last year they had a tough time closing out when things didn't go their way against Woodbury. Sara Scalia missed a bunch of threes, didn't matter, they came up clutch. And when White Bear Lake was up 8 early, they shrugged it off, and they will be making a date at Williams Arena. So Sara Scalia will go to her future home, and the rest of the Ponies, it's going to be a fun few days ahead for them.
Oh, for sure.
Mykel, I know you were cheering them on.
Couldn't help myself.
From a distance. Well, throughout the season, because the AAU teammates, you love them just as much as your high school buddies. You know, Megan Bear, I forgot to throw her name in that mix. And I have to imagine everyone so happy to see the Ponies, who worked so hard to build up this program. Not much history. Sara Scalia, the all-time leading scorer across 2,000 points, destroying the old record. And to see Willie Taylor build the same foundation as he did at St. Paul Central. This is the first of what could be many section championships coming Stillwater's way.
Yeah, it's something special they have here at this school.
LaToya, I know you and I have covered this team for the last couple of years. It's hard not to root for Sara Scalia. What will this championship, this gold medal mean for the Ponies?
Oh, this is huge for them. They've worked so hard for the past 3 seasons. I mean, even when it was just Sarah here, she still worked very hard. And so to see them get to this point now, it's well deserved. They absolutely deserve it. They worked very hard, night in and night out. Teams are coming for them every single night. They had to show up every single night. So even against teams who might not have even won a game, they were coming to play Stillwater. So, and then they just have a really phenomenal coach. So he's a teacher, and he has. You can see that the girls' games have elevated over the past years, and so that's what you want to see. You want to see the girls get, better each year, and that's what we've seen with this program.
So we'll take it to the floor for the award presentation, and we'll have a word with a few of Stillwater's big names. This is the Section 4 4A final. Stillwater, section champions for the first time in 31 years.
For White Bears, number 3, Parham Grissom. Number 4, Kayla Anderson. Number 5, Courtney Crouch. Number 10, Danielle Madden. Number 11, Victoria Adamisi. Number 13, Deva Hughes. Number 14, Paige Nordstrom. Number 21, Ellen Jennings. Number 22, Julia Goulet. Number 23, Zara Beckerville. Number 24, Brianna Corey. Number 25, Annie Bachmeyer. Number 32, Natalie Penrith. Number 34, Mila Keller. Number 40, Anna Sanders. Number 44, Kristen Leonard. Number 45, Lauren Eckerly. Number 52, Olivia O'Connor. Head coach, Jeremy Post. And manager, Hannah Rosen. At this time, will the captains of the White Bear Lake High School please come forward and receive their Monroe flag. Thanks to our cause for the coach and the White Bear Lake Bears basketball team in 2018 Section 4 4A runner-up. We will now honor the Section 4 4A girls basketball champions from Stillwater High School. Please player and team manager will receive a gold medal. When your name is called, please step forward to receive your medal from the section administrator. Alexis, are you ready? Alexis, wait. Number 3, Lizzie Dorschner. Number 10, Alexis Kellogg. Number 12, Abby Shield. Number 13, Allison Benning. Number 14, Sara Scalia. Number 15, Lizzie Holder. Number 21, Amber Scalia. Number 22, Julia Fontaine. Number 23, Tori Shute. Number 25, Mary Foltz. Number 30, Delaney Wagner. Number 31, Grace Cody. Number 32, Liza Parham. Number 42, Lydia Knudsen. Number 43, Peden Rudder. Number 44, Leila Didron. Number 45, Taylor Brady. Manager, Deanna Carr. Manager, Katie Hartby. And Jill Carr. And head coach, Willie Taylor. At this time, with the captains of the Stillwater High School girls basketball team, please come forward and receive their championship flag. Best of luck next week at the state tournament. This concludes our award ceremony. We'd like to thank all the fans, players, and coaches for White Bear and Stillwater for making this tournament such a great place to meet. Stay warm and ride home safely. Don't forget, we'll have the boys section 4A semifinals on Monday here at 5 and 7.
And joining me are Liza Carlin and Sara Scalia. What does it mean to end Stillwater's section championship drought and be part of the first team to qualify for state in this century at Stillwater?
It means a lot, you know. I mean, a big reason I came over was after I watched them lose to Woodbury last year. I mean, definitely wanted to help them out to get a, hopefully, potentially a state title, at least get to state. So it's great to be a part of that, and I'm really thankful. So.
Yeah, this is definitely just something I'll never forget, and our team has worked so hard at this all year, and this has been our goal the whole entire year, and we accomplished it.
Now, I know you and I, we've discussed many games and broke them down, but there's someone here that wants to talk to you. Let's bring in our new member of the broadcast team. All right. All right, Mykel, go ahead.
Okay, so first off, congrats guys. I'm so proud. I was so nervous up there. I was just so excited watching you guys play. I want to hear what was going through your mind while you were playing.
I mean, I don't know, just like working hard, make sure you're working hard every possession and just like taking one possession at a time and just working with our team and staying positive.
I think at first half it was super important that we come off the bat just really intense as soon as possible. Obviously they were hitting everything, so I was a little nervous, but second half I think it was super important that we just keep the pedal on, so it's a good feeling, so it's good.
I know we talked before the game about your free throws, Liza. Let me hear.
Well, could hit them first half. Second half, I struggled a little, but we got the dub, so that's what matters.
That's what matters, yeah.
Oh. Well, Liza's free throws, you know, like, she made a couple, and, you know, she's going to work towards it. We still got more games to come.
You got any more?
I have a question. Hi, we're out here today. Sara Scalia, tell us, what does it feel like to go to state?
Feels great. Great feeling.
Feels incredible. Thank you.
All right, we'll slide back in here. So this was not an easy game. That third meeting, coming off a 47-point win, I have to imagine there was some surprise that White Bear Lake was leading in the half. What did you talk about at halftime? How did you adjust? I know three-point shooting, dialing up the pressure, that worked in your favor. So how did you shrug off a resilient White Bear Lake team?
Well, like I said, it was super important for us to come out just really intense, just not really think about the score as just 0-0, and then start a new game, just brush the first half out of our minds. But I don't think we were thinking that we were going to win by a lot, because obviously this team is good, and when they're shooting good, then it's a hard team to beat. So it's important that we came out strong second half.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely knew coming into this game that we weren't going to beat them by 40 again, because they were going to come in probably with a different mindset, and they hit down their shots in the first half, and we kept it close, and then the second half we pulled it out.
Sarah, I know you were going through a few emotions after Saturday's performance. I know you were hoping to come out maybe a little more efficiently. You came up big tonight, made some key plays in the second half. What was your mindset going in and getting over that hump in the semifinals? How do you think that relaxed you a bit?
Yeah, I mean, obviously just staying positive, and my teammates believed in me, and they got me the ball when I was open, and we just worked together, and I mean, we pulled out the win, so that's all that really matters.
All right, a couple of thoughts here. What would you make of Mykel as an interviewer?
You know, she's good. I have to watch the game later, but she's a solid interviewer, really energetic, so I think that's what's important.
Yeah, I mean, she has a great personality, good sense of humor. It doesn't get much better.
Well, I know you guys won a lot of titles together at North Tartan. Now you won a section championship together. We'll see what happens at state, but you two have made a lot of memories, and I have to imagine you're excited to make a few more. How excited are you to play at Williams, Sarah's future home, and maybe your future home if you decide?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Just really looking forward to it. Excited to see everyone who gets to state, so I'm really excited.
Yeah, I mean, now we're just going to focus on the next game and who we got for coming into that game, and we're just going to keep playing with the same mindset and work together and work hard.
You want to say hi to anybody?
Yeah, hi to my family who came, and all my friends that came. Well, it means a lot.
Yeah, shout out to my friends, family, you know, love them.
Well, congrats on the section championship. We'll see what you do in state, but whatever happens, I know you've been building up this team for a moment like this, and you finally got to taste it. Congrats on the win, and whatever happens, it's been a pleasure covering you guys.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
So that's Sara Scalia and Liza Carlin. Want to thank Mykel Parham for her contributions as well, and everyone else who followed our coverage all season long on Valley Access channels. I'm Mike Peden. Thank you for watching.